Hey guys, Patrick. Today we are looking at this. This is a Nintendo clone, and let me give you a bit of a backstory how I came about of having this and what the problem with this is and why you see some tools on the side and some other bits and pieces hanging off to the side. So first of all, if you've been following my channel or if you're interested, I did a full review and unboxing of the real home entertainment system by Nintendo that has come out a little while back, and my first initial thoughts was this is great. I mean, a bit of nostalgia. I don't know how many people would actually continue playing it, even when you can buy a Raspberry Pi for a lot less and do the same thing. And you can then buy something like this, which is off eBay. It's a USB controller, and it has the very similar controllers to these this one over here. It's original in the sense of looking similar. This obviously is a lot more original because it also has this cable that you may recognize. But also the color of it is a little bit off and the buttons are a little bit different. There's a few extras, but it looks very similar. And this one is USB, and it's only about $10 from eBay. So if you've got a Raspberry Pi and you've got some Nintendo ROMs, you can obviously do this yourself, and you don't need to buy this. Now, this is not the original one. This is a clone. Now, the issue with this clone is that it has DC in, which is just a power, which is a micro USB, and AV out via this interesting cable. This is a 2.5mm jack, and then it goes to these two RCA cables, which means that you need the old TV to even run this. Now, first of all, this is really light. It doesn't even have the Nintendo things on it. It's got a button here for reset on and off here. And I wanted to see what's inside. So this is a clone. I will do a review and I'll find you the link where we can actually buy this. But first of all, I want to see what's inside, what this is actually built from, if it's just a really like an old Raspberry Pi in there or something like that. So what we'll do is get these feet off here. Obviously there's no other screws that I can see, so they must be under the feet. And while I'm getting these off, we can sort of talk about this nostalgic gaming community that's building around it. So people realized, by people I mean companies, that they can really re-release their very first generation hardware and sell it just on the basis that people really feel that they used to love it as a kid, and they might just buy it as a trophy type thing for their room, or maybe somewhere down the line they might buy it for their own kids. And I can't see the screws in there. In any case, you might end up buying this for somebody as a gift. It's a great gift. I completely believe it is, especially for your your nerdy partner. I think it's a great thing to do. And in the end of the day, that's the way they're going to make their money. They're not even providing any options for more games. They're only providing what's really in this in the first place. So about 20 games or so. So that's if you buy it originally, obviously. But if you buy it a clone or something that's hacked, what you might actually end up, oh, can I even reach that? Yeah. What you might actually end up having is the ability to load different games onto there, and something that obviously is kind of dodgy. It's pirated games on here, and there's a lot of ROMs out there. I'm not going to link to anything, but let's just be clear. People do this already with fake ones and cloned ones with Raspberry Pis. They get their free games, and unfortunately, you won't be able to backload these other games that you might have. There's not much freedom with a real one, so you'll end up being, well, what you end up doing is kind of locking yourself in, but obviously potentially with a better quality product. So this is what's inside, and if we kind of dwell a little bit further, we've got these Joy 1, Joy 2 plugs here. We can see that this is some sort of RM based. Can I get any deeper than this? Yes, there's a lot more screws here. So obviously there's not much in here. You could potentially replace this with your own Raspberry Pi if you wanted to get the HDMI out goodness. That is the only downside of this product, is that there's no HDMI out. And unfortunately, I don't see a way of getting any more HDMI added to it, or well, not more, but at least one. That is very simple. One condenser, transistor, whatever that's called, and then on this board we've got a little chip, and it has, what is it? It says M400 2056A3. I have no idea what it is. NES 01 TV 1.0. Maybe it's going for that whole classic look. Maybe this AV thing is because it's trying to be as classic as possible. Now, I don't have a way to plug this into my TV at this stage, but I think... but that was a lie. I did actually get it working. Unfortunately, it doesn't work as intended. As you can see, it's got extra buttons that are used for scrolling. Actually, all the buttons are used for some sort of scrolling. The start button is therefore the button to start the game, and the games that are in here, well, I don't know. I haven't even heard of most of these things. These are age-old games that just out of nowhere. There's about 500 games that are pretty much all unknown. There is no Mario, but there is Robot Block. And I'm gonna go test Direct or Bingo One Player. I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what this is, but it works. I managed to hook it up to a monitor, a very expensive monitor back in its day, but now only worth $20. But actually, potentially now, it could be worth a lot more because of its applicability to retro games. I don't even know this game, but it is very, very glitchy, as you can see. The latency is okay. It's not bad. There's a lot of flashing going on, and as you can see, things are not going well. I can go Mega Man 3, which is the only one I know, and we can give that a try, and you guys can see how well it performs. There is a lot of jitter on the bottom of the screen. I don't believe it's because of the monitor. It is even cut off oddly. It's not marked very well, and if I kind of navigate towards there, continue pressing start, you can see this area here spinning and flashing. There you have it, the clone Nintendo system. Are you ready for this magic? What you could actually do with this is that this is a really nice case. This is a really nice case, and what you might want to do is actually create your own, your own little Nintendo game box with this box. And you can obviously buy the box separately if you look online, but they're not particularly cheap. Like I'm gonna point it out. They're not particularly cheap, and that's the sort of project that you really gotta invest yourself in. So guys, thank you very much for watching. This might not be as educational as I hoped. I was kind of excited to sort of see that you open it up and it's a real Raspberry Pi in there, and all you need to do is solder on some actual HDMI ports on there. One can wish. But unfortunately, this was the most basic thing I've ever seen in my life. And as you can see, I mean, apart from the control, I think the controllers are probably the most expensive part of this. And they have extra buttons, which is well odd, I think. In any case, the buttons, apart from the buttons, this has probably been the most expensive part is these things here, and they use those classic old analog plugs, which obviously make it look authentic, but other than that. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope this has been interesting. I'll catch you later in another video. Like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Have you guys got a clone like this? Have you managed to figure out how to connect this to maybe your HDMI enabled TV? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks and goodbye.